Hi, welcome to another edition of Senior Moment. Joining us today is Nicole
Howell,
excuse me, and Christy
Timko.
And they're from the Elder Justice Division of Ombudsman Services of Contra, Costa, and Solano County. Is that close enough?
Yeah, we serve Alameda too, so we're all over the Bay Area.
Wow. So you were 3 counties?
We provide long-term care ombudsman services in 3 counties.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
We have great teams throughout, so we're eager to be there.
So you're the executive director of this massive geographical area?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I'm pleased to be the executive director for, we have a variety of programs, but we are primarily a long-term care ombudsman program, which is an organization charged with advocating for those who live in long-term care.
And long-term care, can you define that for us?
Yeah, it means any licensed facility. So that could be a skilled nursing facility, it could be an assisted living facility, or something we have in California, which is sometimes referred to as a 6-bed facility, or a boarding care, which is like an assisted living delivered in a smaller typical home. You know, within a few blocks of here, there are 4 or 5 facilities just delivering care in a home-like setting.
Yeah, I think I had a friend who had a need for a period of time, and I had a chance to go out and see a lot of those places.
Yeah.
And it's a real wide range of environments that are available.
It is, and the truth is that almost 70% of us will spend some time in long-term care over the course of our lives. And it could be just post-surgery that we need a little extra rehab, or maybe we had an illness and needed some supportive services while we recuperate. And so the services are critically necessary. Here in Solano, we have about 150 long-term care facilities.
150 in what area?
In Solano County.
In just Solano County? So can you multiply that times 3 or more?
It's more. In Contra Costa, there are about 430 facilities.
Wow.
And in Alameda, it's about 250, but they have 15,000 residents.
So they're bigger places.
Yes, they have fewer facilities, but more residents.
So as an agency, are you the liaison between the facility and the constituent? Is that how that works?
Not so much between the facility and the constituent. We are the advocate for the resident. We work for them or their family member or someone else they have designated to act on their behalf. So if they are requesting something, be it a discharge planning assistance, care planning, reporting something significant like abuse or neglect, we are on their side and we advocate for what they are asking for. That could be with the facility. It could also be with outside partners like a home care agency or others where their needs are simply not being met.
So they would be people that are already in the facility that you help?
Yeah.
So you said 15,000 in Alameda, and so you're probably talking about 40,000 people total?
We're about 29,000 across the total region.
Wow.
There are almost 300,000 individuals in long-term care in California.
Wow. And growing.
Yes, definitely, and growing. The need is increasing, and we as people and as seniors are a diverse group of individuals, and our care needs are changing, whether they be in the home or in a facility.
So what percentage of those in long-term care are, and you may not know this, but have their own long-term care insurance, and what percentage might be Medicare, Medi-Cal?
So I wish I knew that number. What I would say I think it's important to know is that long-term care is paid for in a variety of ways. If you're in a skilled nursing facility, which is a medical facility, that can be paid for either via Medicare, it's a short-term rehab, Medi-Cal, which would cover a longer period of time, private pay from my own bank account, or with a long-term care plan. And then when you get into more the assisted living and the 6 beds we talked about, that's exclusively private pay. And so the range is significant. Certainly some individuals do have access to a long-term care plan, certainly not enough. We need more funds to support those who are needing care in a facility or at home.
Has there been any change Or does Obamacare have any provisions for any of that, or is it outside of the Obamacare programs?
Yeah, that's a little outside the Affordable Care Act. There were some things that were added that required around some parity in care that did affect seniors and older adults. But generally speaking, the sort of payment structure is dictated by the state. So, for example, in other states, Medicaid, or what we call Medi-Cal, does provide pay for care at lower levels of care. Whereas in California, we have not yet made that decision. So it really can be a state-by-state decision.
My brother is in a facility in Minnesota, and I think Social Security makes his payments. So we're lucky for that.
Yes, unfortunately in California, care is very expensive, and unfortunately all too unattainable for too many Californians.
Yeah, it can be what, $6,000-7,000 a month?
Oh gosh, it can range up to $10,000 or $12,000 a month. Yes, it can be very expensive.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'm not sure of many Californians that have been able to pay their bills and support their children and buy their homes and have, an additional, $5,000-7,000 a month. It's an issue that cuts across economic sectors and impacts so many people.
Well, in 3 years, if you have a home that's paid for, $500,000, 3 years, most of that can be gone.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Seniors and their families should not be forced to impoverish themselves in order to provide care for their family members.
And apparently, I keep forgetting the statistic, but something like 50,000 people a month turn 65, some figure like that.
Yeah, it's some incredible number, absolutely.
So that's the senior tsunami.
Yeah.
I prefer to think about less in sort of torrential storm terms. It's like, these are people that made our state. These are individuals who brought about the boom of, aeronautics and banking and technology, and it's simply our opportunity now to pay that forward to them and make sure they're well cared for.
Oh, that's very cool. I'll go for that. Okay. I'll vote for that.
All right.
So you deal mostly with elder abuse and things like that?
Yes, I'm just in Solano County, so I serve victims of elder and dependent adult abuse. I'm a grant-funded program that's under Ombudsman services, under the lead of Nicole, and I work out of the Solano Family Justice Center. And I am connected with many different partner agencies, and we provide, the idea is to provide all the services that are necessary for the victim to be able to recover and heal.
Which is a big deal.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of victims of elder and dependent adult abuse in Solano County, and another aspect of that, because Solano County is so widespread, there's a lot of isolation. There's a lot of barriers for elders and dependent adults to receive services.
Yeah, so the elder abuse can be, excuse me for my cold, elder abuse can be physical, mental, financial.
Yes.
A lot of different types, right? What do you see the most of?
A lot of the victims have multiple different types of abuse. It's very common for someone to have be a victim of verbal abuse, physical abuse, and financial abuse. That's very common for someone to receive different types of abuse, often from family members.
There was a guy here in Vallejo that allegedly, he was in his 80s, and he had, I think he had bone cancer. And this lady was kind of befriended him to take care of him. But she had a connection to some drugs to alleviate the pain, but it also, he lost his clarity. And 2 weeks before he died, she had him sign his entire estate over to her and took his all of his family members out of the will.
Yeah.
It was awful. And they had lawsuit and ended up getting split, but even the split wasn't fair to the family. That's probably one of the worst cases I've run across.
And I think the important thing to remember is that, you know, adults have the right to make their own decisions, but if someone is under duress or being coerced by someone and not making that decision, or, you know, under the influence of some sort of extensive medications, like, that is not what we want. The way to combat that is to really engage people of all ages, to provide activities for seniors so that they can be in community, so they are less likely to interact with someone who maybe doesn't want the best for them.
Mm-hmm. Well, I participate in a lot of forums to educate seniors about what to look out for.
Yeah.
And, you know, it can be scams like telephone scams or mail or people coming to the door. I mean, the number of ways younger people try to take advantage of older people seems to be endless. It's, I don't want to paint a real negative picture of it, but it's scary.
Well, that is a very real picture, and that's one of the things that we also manage that I work with Nicole is the Elder Justice League, and we provide training for elders in the community and others that are vested in ending elder abuse. And that's one of the trainings that we have had already, is how to prevent financial abuse. We had Eliza Dugan, who's a staff attorney from Contra Costa Legal Services, and she did a great presentation on what financial abuse is and also some ways to prevent that. We also had Jenna Lee Dawson do a really fun activity, a fraud bingo, and it was like an educational way of how to learn additional ways of that scammers use to attack elders and how to prevent that and things to look out for. And we also provided resources from the Federal Trade Commission on some scam information and also just how to protect your assets.
So what is fraud bingo? Can you give me like the executive summary of fraud bingo?
It's really fun. It basically goes over, you know, different, Jenna Lee Dawson kind of asked some questions of like, what are some ways that scammers use to attack and financially abuse elders, and then there's an answer for each question, and it basically spells out fraud. Each question is attached to, instead of bingo, it's fraud, and then everybody gets a prize too that yells out fraud.
Wow, I'm gonna have to try that sometime.
Well, come on down. We'll do it with you.
No, come on down. That's
Price is right. Yeah, Price is Right. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Right.
Yeah, I guess I haven't watched those shows. So what would you say are the top two most common examples of fraud or elder fraud?
Well, a lot of the, of course, there's many scams out there that are very prevalent, but for the victims that I deal with, a lot of it is their children is taking advantage of their finances. What's really common is the parent who is the elder may give them access to some money because they're very restricted due to medical reasons. So maybe they allow their children to use their cards to buy them groceries or pay for the mortgage or utility bills, things like that. But then these start going beyond that scope to where they're using the credit cards or they're writing checks for their own personal needs that aren't in the best interest of the elder. And then a lot of times they notice it because maybe their lights get turned off or bills aren't being paid, and then they notice that instead of paying their bills, instead of the child paying for their bills and doing things that are in their best interest, they've been doing other things. And so now they're in this situation where they're already on limited means and they notice that their child is taking advantage of them. Some of these cases, it's also related to the child maybe, and when I say child, I'm talking about an adult. It's just someone who's older. But sometimes they're also involved in drugs or alcohol, and that just extends the problem and makes it more complicated.
Well, that's pretty scary.
There's something that Christy said, which is that, you know, elder abuse comes in many packages. It could be like a scam from someone you don't know. Maybe it's perpetrated either online or via phone. Or there's elder abuse that happens by someone who is your caregiver or family member. And those feel differently. And part of what we try to be sensitive to is the idea that an older adult may just want the adult abuse to stop, and maybe they want to be tried to be made whole again, but they want their children to be well, but they don't necessarily want to lock their child up. They're wanting a restorative model of working with them.
Which is a hard thing to do.
Right, but what we sort of hold to is the idea that just because someone is older adult doesn't mean they're not an adult.
Yeah.
So we want to really hear what they would want and work with them and offer a variety of services to them, be it court accompaniment, be it assistance with a restraining order, or connecting them with other organizations like Meals on Wheels or Legal Services of Northern California or others to see how can their needs be best met in a way that is in keeping with what they would want.
I remember another example I heard about was a contractor that was offering a 20-year contract to do maintenance on something in the home, and the person's 85 or 90. So 20 years plus 90?
Yeah.
I don't think so. You know, people fall for that. Telephone scams. I've gotten this week alone 3 calls saying, hi, this is a Social Security calling, and there's a problem with your account and you're going to go to jail unless you call me back. So,
or even the grandparent scam, where they called my own grandmother saying that they were impersonating me, saying that I was in prison in Mexico and needed bail money, right?
Yeah,
and
or
so
in
really
Europe.
pressuring her that I couldn't call my parents, I had to talk to her, and so they were relentless in that. And thankfully, she said, no, and got the phone and called my parents, and they knew I was not in Mexico. And so those things are like the pressure the person can exert via phone can be so significant.
Yeah. And I know I tell people, don't be afraid to just hang up.
Yeah.
Don't think you have to be polite with these people. Just, goodbye, click. That's the safest way to get out from underneath that kind of pressure.
Absolutely.
So what other kinds of things do you do as the executive director of this giant organization?
Well, I'm really lucky. I get to work with a great team of people, both inside our organization and out, who are committed to what we would call elder justice. So for us, elder justice is about more than just preventing elder abuse or intervening when it's happened. It's about ensuring seniors have access to the kind of life they would want and they're able to thrive. So I get to work with other partners to create programs that are building a better future for seniors. In Contra Costa, we have a program called the Healthcare Career Pathway that is a partnership with several organizations to reimagine training for certified nursing assistants and others to say there's a better way that not only we can be training front-end providers who are doing the most important work, but also there's a way in which we can be providing wraparound support services for them. So there's a healthcare pathway that, as you said, we have 50,000 people turning 65 a month or some other large number, that if those people are going to need care, it's not going to look like what your grandmother's care looked like. There might have a different cultural spin to that, and ensuring that the caregivers are trained appropriately. I also get to work with other partners and stakeholders to create programs here like we've done with the Elder Justice League. So really just happy to work with any partner to improve the quality of care and life for seniors and educate the community on what aging can look like, and that there is good life in aging, even if it may include some physical or cognitive impairments. We believe someone is still an adult and still certainly an individual entitled to dignity and respect as they age.
So do you have walk-in services at any locations in your district?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can walk right into Christy's organization at the Family Justice Center. That's a program of the Office of Family Violence Prevention here in Solano, which is a program of the District Attorney's Office. You can walk right in there, and if you've been the victim of any type of crime, you can walk right in there, and Christy is but one of the service providers there and available. If you need assistance related to long-term care, our offices are available in Contra, Costa, Solano, or Alameda to talk to someone about their concerns or questions they may have. For Ombudsman, our work is really in the facility. So most of my team members right now as we speak are actually in facilities, working with residents, talking to staff members, and working with families to resolve issues. So yes, we have 3 physical locations that we are happy to receive people at. And we also answer a lot of questions via phone and our website as well.
So if I wanted to get a hold of you guys for whatever reason, who would I call? Where would I go? What would the website be?
Yeah, so our website is ckombudsman.org. That's ombudsman.org. You can also check out our Facebook page, which is linked from our website. You can certainly check out our website. You can call our mainline number, which is 707-644-4194.
Sounds like a Vallejo number.
It is. We do maintain numbers for each of our offices that are specific to those areas. So we want to be as accessible as possible. And again, our operations in Solano County are centered at the Family Justice Center.
So 644-4194. Okay.
And for my program, it's 707-344-4102.
Okay. So I have to test my memory now.
You can also just Google it and we'll get you to the right place.
All right. Now also, can people call 211 and ask about it and they would direct them to you?
Yes, you could also call through our local area agency on aging. There's an information and assistance line. You can call that number, and I'm so sorry the number escapes me, and they'll connect you with a variety of senior services in the community. But 211 also would direct you appropriately.
Okay.
In our county, we're lucky to really sort of be moving towards a no wrong door approach. We're very connected as senior service providers. And when we encounter a client who maybe isn't right for our services, but may be able to take advantage of others, we're good at not just doing a referral, but really a warm handoff.
Oh, okay. You kind of walk them through it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Aging is complicated. Maybe having some sort of injury or other impairment is especially complicated. And we should make those services as easily accessible as possible.
Do you have an age cutoff for people that you serve or don't serve?
Well, in Christy's program, she works with anyone who's an older adult, so 60 plus, or someone adult with disabilities. In long-term care, we will serve anyone who is in long-term care. So unfortunately, we do have younger adults who've had traumatic brain injuries or other injuries who are in long-term care, and we are pleased to partner with them.
All right, so I would qualify.
Yes,
48.
absolutely. Exactly.
Oh, that's cool. So how many total people are under your umbrella?
In terms of staff, we are coming up right about 20. But it's important to remember that all our programs, be they Ombudsman or otherwise, are community-based. So we have a team of volunteers who are also highly trained and able to work in facilities under the guidance of staff members to complete this work. Christy here has created the Elder Justice League, which is a team of about 100 volunteers who are working in the community, who've been trained through her trainings to identify the signs of abuse or neglect and to act in their communities as sort of guidance. People who are sort of just, I guess, like navigators. So if someone in their community, be that their senior apartment, their church, has experienced abuse, they know the path to take them on. They know that they can call Adult Protective Services. They know they can come to the Family Justice Center and seek out help, and to really demystify that process.
So do you still need more volunteers?
Yes, always.
And where do they call?
They can call 707-344-4102, and that's to join the Elder Justice League. We also do our event registration on Eventbrite, and we also post all the events on the Facebook page and the Instagram page.
Is the Elder Justice League mostly volunteers, or?
It's all volunteers.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is it over the 3 counties?
It's based here in Solano, but I will say they all have individual little capes because they're superheroes.
Yeah, I was going to ask that same question.
Yeah, we give T-shirts, but it's because undercover. Because we understand it's like Clark Kent. You don't want to, tell everyone who you are. So that program's based here in Solano County.
So you can be a volunteer and still be low profile.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
We won't send the paparazzi after you.
Oh, that's good, man. That was a close call.
Yeah.
Well,
we do have an exciting event coming up this year that you should know about, though.
Yes.
So on June 4th, it's the 5th annual Elder Justice Forum. It's been a project of the District Attorney's Office, Solano County, Ombudsman Services for several years now. And this year it's going even bigger in that we are pleased to host the California State Elder Abuse event for the month of June.
Oh, wow.
And I'm pleased to say that Senator Dodd is actually going to be creating the resolution and sort of authoring the day and the event that we're happening. And what's exciting about this is we're going to have a track for community members, so people who are interested in combating elder abuse. We're going to have a wellness fair. We're going to have fraud prevention. It's going to be really informative. And then we're going to have a track specifically designed for professionals. We're bringing some really high-level speakers, such as Paul Greenrun. He's the former DA from San Diego County who's pioneered efforts in prosecution for elder abuse. Miriam Elman-Shawi from the McGeorge Law School and their Victims' Rights Center. And so this is going to be June 4th at the Joseph Nelson Center, and it's going to be free. So this is really an event you don't want to miss. We'll have registration coming up shortly on our Facebook page and our website. But if folks want to know about that, they should go to our website at ccsombudsman.org and sign up for our e-newsletter, and we'll make sure that they find out.
Cool. Cool. Well, I'm going to have to put that on my calendar.
Absolutely. We'll get you your superhero cape that day.
And a VIP seat.
Oh, yeah, I've outgrown my old one.
Okay.
So I probably need to update it a little bit. So anything you want to share with us? We have about a minute left.
Just one of the other things Nicole and I work together with is, in addition to the Elder Justice League, doing other educational presentations within the community. So I go to the senior centers, the Solano County libraries, and also venturing out into other organizations like that to do presentations on what elder abuse is, and also about my program, so people in the community know there are resources out there for elder and dependent adult abuse victims.
Okay, maybe some fall prevention here and there too, right?
Absolutely. We are connected with fall prevention programs.
So you don't just do that in the autumn? You do it spring and
all the seasons.
We're a fan of fall prevention wherever it may fall in the year. We just don't do that program, but other good folks do.
Yes.
Yeah, it's amazing how many seniors fall. Almost everybody.
Yeah.
I would say all adults fall, right? We're all going to have, it just can be more significant as we age, and not stigmatizing that just to seniors.
Yeah, yeah. 2 of my friends in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not good. Well, that's about all the time we have for today. Thank you guys both for being here. Or you ladies, you're not
Thank
guys.
you.
And I hope to see you again soon, and maybe at the Senior Center.
You'll see me again.
At some event, or June 4th.
Absolutely.
At the Nelson Center. Cool.
Thank you very much.
Well, thanks. That's all the time we have for today. Our show airs Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. on VCAT Comcast Channel 27, streaming live VCAT at vcat.tv, and also AT&T Uverse 99. Come see us again next time.